Greetings, I'm Fernando, a writer here with NerdReactor.com. July is here, people, and once again, ComicCon is upon us. Now, if you haven't been in a few years, or if this is your first one, then you, yes, you, might be completely unprepared. Well, Nerd Reactor is here to help you. These are the top 5 ComicCon survival tips.
ComicCon, that time of year when the geeks feel like princes. For every hour, their line moves 2 inches. Time for another ComicCon.
Yes, ComicCon, a goldmine of swag, countless vendors and artists,
and more Slave Leia cosplayers than any nerd could dream of.
Each year, over 125,000 of my geeky brethren occupy downtown San Diego, and it is quite easy to be overwhelmed.
Game over, man! Game over!
Without further ado, let's get started.
Time for another ComicCon.
Number 5. Get your passes ahead of time.
Online registration sold out in a matter of hours in what can only be described as a complete cluster. Server crashes left people refreshing their browsers for hours, only to be rewarded with a single-day pass, if they were lucky. You do not want to leave your attendance to chance. You need to get your pass ahead of time. The best strategy you can have is to buy your pass at ComicCon for the following year. Now, if you are not attending this year, find a friend who is, give them some cash, and have them buy the ticket for you. Which leads us to our next problem. Pre-sale tickets sold out before the con was even finished, and I guarantee they're going to sell out even quicker this year. So whether it's you or your friend, you're going to have to get into line exceptionally early as soon as you can. Of course, your other options are to volunteer or work for an exhibitor, or become a member of the press or a professional and get your badge for free.
Time for another ComicCon.
Number 4. Parking and public transportation.
Now, unless you're fortunate enough to be staying at a place that provides parking, you're going to have to find a parking spot, park your car there, and leave it there for the entirety of your trip. Why? Because parking is hell in San Diego during Comic-Con. The parking situation has gotten so bad that, I kid you not, you can now reserve your parking space for Comic-Con. That's just silly. Now, if you're staying further away from the convention center, avoid parking altogether. You can either take a cab or the trolley that conveniently stops right in front of the convention center. Also, Comic-Con does provide a shuttle service that does go around to local hotels, making it much more convenient to get around.
Well, people just take the train down to San Diego and avoid the mess altogether.
Well, why don't you shut up?
Time for another ComicCon.
Number 3.
You need a Comic-Con game plan or you're gonna miss out. You need to know exactly what you are going to do, because knowing is half the battle. Keep in mind that when attending one of the more popular panels later in the day, that you will need to get there a few hours before or even sit in on the panel scheduled before it. This especially goes for the infamous Hall H, where people will begin lining up the day before. Not to mention that this year, the Twilight fans, will once again return to Comic-Con to ruin it for everyone else. Why? To see this fucker right here. Team Llama Face, bitches!
Time for another ComicCon.
Number 2. Pack your essentials.
So this is gonna be like a list within the list. Don't worry, we're only going one level deep. Inception joke. Kapow! Backpack. To pack all your essentials and swag in. Reading material. You will be in line a lot, so you don't want to get bored. Deodorant. It's hot and you're going to be rubbing against people all day. They don't need your stank. Breath mints. They don't need your stank. Water and or sports drinks. San Diego is hot, and being crammed into a convention center with thousands of unwashed nerds like canned sardines doesn't help. And dehydration is the leading cause of bad breath, which may make your mints useless. That means they do nothing! Bring your own snacks, because convention food is really expensive. Oh, and it tastes like camel turd. Handheld camera. Sexy cosplayers. Plenty of spending cash. There will be comics and exclusives galore. Poster tube. Never go to Comic-Con without one. Posters and art prints are the most popular swag to give away. The last thing you want are those beauties getting damaged amongst the chaos of Comic-Con. This baby will keep them well protected.
Time for another
And the number one tip for surviving Comic-Con is...
Would you like to know when I made my reservation for Comic-Con 2011? During Comic-Con 2010. In a few weeks, all the hotels within a 3-mile radius will be completely booked for the following year. Your best bet is to make your reservation a year in advance. Now, if your hotel doesn't offer 1 year in advance reservations, find out the earliest time you can make a reservation and make it that very day. Trust me, you'll thank me later. Every year, Comic-Con releases hotel reservations to the public. However, I haven't used this myself, so I can't tell you how reliable it is. And from what I heard, it's just as reliable as their online ticketing system. Keep in mind that plenty of companies make last-minute cancellations during the months of June and July. Call around, maybe you'll get lucky. Well, that's all the tips I have to offer you. The only other thing I could say is, have fun and just make sure to think ahead. So thank you for watching my top 5 Comic-Con survival tips. Or as I like to call it, how many pop culture references could I make in one video? Oh good! Be sure to visit nerdreactor.com for all your news, reviews, and previews of everything nerd related.
So get packing, get the fracking. To the blogger, hacking movie industry, tracking antiperspirant, lacking $50, snacking at another Comic-Con, unless you watch it online.